to another green marble crochet tutorial. For this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make this spaghetti summer beach dress design that I've come up with. So yes, that's what I'm making. This design is very much based off a previous tutorial that I did, a previous design, the spaghetti summer beach top that I did, I think it was a couple of years ago. So that's what this is, obviously with the modifications of being turned into a dress and different sort of chain counts and stuff like that, but we'll get into that during the tutorial. So that's what this is. This is not a beginner friendly design. This is more of a sort of intermediate level, medium level crochet project that we're working with. So just keep that in mind, you know, if you want to start this. That's it. Also, yes. So this is the first time I'll be using this for a tutorial. I'm very, very pleased. It's worked out so well. Just being able to keep track of everything as I go along, you know, it's super helpful for me especially. And especially with this design as well, because even now, despite the fact that I did this a couple of years ago, there's still things I would change. So yeah. And I've been able to write that down in the reflection section, as you'll see when we get into it over there. So yes, we're doing that. And that's it. Yeah, I think that's all I need to say. So yeah, if you want to check out the crochet journal, please do. It's on Amazon. I think the link to that is going to be in the description. Yes, it is. So there's that. All right. I think that's it. I think that's all I need to say. I think we can probably just get straight into it. However, if you haven't subscribed but you would like to subscribe to join me for some more tutorials, I would love to have you join me. A big thank you to my patrons. Thank you for your support. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching my videos. Yeah. Also, if you love what I do here, if you enjoy my projects, please consider helping me out on Patreon, where not only will you be helping to support future projects, but you'll also be helping the green marble to grow and blossom to its fullest potential. Yes. Alright, that's it. That's all I need to say. We can definitely just get straight into making this. Alright, so I did mention at the beginning of my last tutorial that I would show you this during this project, and I am using this for this particular project that we're working on today, so I'll just show it to you now. You can see what's involved, and we'll do that. Alright, so here it is, the crochet journal, and the green marble crochet journal, and here is the back cover. So yeah, I'm actually really, really happy with it. It's turned out better than I expected, you know. Alright, so let's have a look on the inside. So here's the title page. We've got 20 projects for this particular journal. This is 164 pages, so there's plenty of room for each project, which is really good. Alright, so on the next page, this journal belongs to. And this is just a brief description of what the journal is intended, how it's intended to be used. So on Amazon, there is actually a look inside for the journal for books. You can click on the image and it will just take you to it will show you the first few pages of a book. So you can have a look at this if you want. You just see what it's like. If you want to do that, that's there. Alright, so on the next page, we've got a US versus UK crochet terminology and abbreviation basics and symbols. Yeah. So I just find this helpful because I've been confused in the past by this sort of thing, where a double crochet in the US is a treble crochet in the UK. So it can just help get you familiar with the different terms. And I think that would be really good for someone, especially someone who's first starting out with crochet, and you go on YouTube and you watch tutorials. And I mean, for me personally, I did in the past get quite confused by that. So I just thought that would help. Yes. And here, okay, so here we've got space for the title, and for this one, it's going to be a spaghetti summer beach dress. Yes. So that's what I'm doing. I'm actually going to go and get some colored pencils soon from a bazaar down the road, because I want to, I want to make that more pretty. And okay, also this here. So this is space for you to write sort of basic things for the project. So for me, I'm going to write measurements here. I'm going to record how many skeins I used, because later on I'll need to write that down for when I write up the actual pattern to put on Ravelry. And you can write down any other relevant information that you need, you know, just little basic things just here at the beginning. So that's what we're going to do. Also, so on the other page, just here, this is space for you to sort of, you know, draw up your design. So if you want to just like sketch what you want it to look like, which I am, that's also why I'm getting the colored pencils, because I want to do some sketches of this particular design, just how it should look, what it should look like when it's finished. See if I can make it look like that as I go along. So that's what I'm going to do. I might show that to you later, probably, maybe at the end I'll do that. So you'll see what that's like. So that's what that page is for. Now here we've got where the pattern goes. So, I don't know, I think I just said that. This one's got, yeah, quite a few pages, maybe 7 or 8, for you to record your pattern. So as you can see, I've already started recording what I'm doing with this project. I'm still going though, so this is going to be another fairly experimental design, as I like to do. So we're sort of making it up as we go. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say about that. So that's where the pattern goes for you to. You can just scribble it however you want on those pages. And here, the last page of the pattern of the project plan, you've got the reflection page. So this is just a page for you to sort of record things that you think you could have done differently, things that you might add if you did this project again in the future. So that's what that's for. This is going to be particularly helpful for me because I think I've said it in tutorials in the past that at the end there are things that I would do differently, and things that I would like to do differently in the future. So for me to be able to record that is going to be really good. I'm very much looking forward to it. So yes, I just really wanted to show that to you because I'm super proud of this and I really love it. And I just think it's going to be really helpful, especially for me. Yeah. And like I said, for beginners as well. Anyway, now that we've had a look at that, we can just move straight on to the tutorial. Alright, now then, we're going to have a quick look at the tiny details on the label of the yarn that we're using before we get started. So, and this is what we're working with. If you need more time to have a look at anything, just pause the video. I also just want to mention quickly that if at any point during the tutorial you feel like I'm going too fast, there's a feature on YouTube where you can slow down the speed of the video. So I just suggest doing that so that you can keep up at your own pace. So, here's what we're working with. Yes, it's quite tiny writing on this label, and that's upside down, I think. No, it's not. It's not upside down. Let's have a look. Alright, so there's that. Now, here are the tiny relevant details, and tiny they are indeed. There we go. Alright, so that's that there, and it's saying that I should be using a 3 or a 4mm hook, which is good because I'm using a 3mm hook for this project. And we're going to start in this lovely teal colour. I actually have some blue of this particular yarn. We're going to be using both colours, and I might need to get some more as well because for this I want to add sleeves. That may sound weird at the moment, but bear with me. It'll all come together. Alright, so what we're going to do first is we're going to find the end of our yarn, which is here, and we're going to start by taking the end of our yarn. We're going to make a slip knot. Now, to make a slip knot, what you do is you take the end of the yarn between your thumb and your index finger of your right hand, like this. Then with the index finger and the middle finger of your left hand, you wind the yarn around like so. Grab hold, pull through the loop, just like that. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to adjust that loop to our hook, like so. You're going to stick it through the loop just there. Grab the working end and pull tight, just like that. Now, what we're going to do at this point, we're starting with a chain of 168. So we're going to make a chain of 168, and that is, to make a chain stitch, you yarn over, pull through the loop. So that's 1 chain, yarn over, pull through the loop. That's 2 chains, yarn over, pull through. That's 3 chains. So we'll go away, we'll chain our 168, and we'll meet back up and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Alright, now that I've chained my 168 chains, what we're going to do is we're going to very gently, very carefully work our way back to the beginning of that chain, just being really careful not to get it twisted. It can be quite disastrous if you get your chain twisted. So just making sure that braided side is constantly facing towards you all the way back to the beginning. Just like this. And then, once we get back to the beginning, what you're going to do is you're going to turn the chain around like this, so it's upside down, and you're going to, make sure you've got your yarn just there like that, you're going to slip stitch into that very first chain at the beginning. Where am I? So that very first chain just there, you're going to insert your hook into that top part of the V just there of that first chain, like so. Just like that. Yarn over, pull a loop through that. Why is this so fiddly today? Pull a loop through that chain and then pull that loop through your last chain that you've got on the hook just there. So there we go. Now we've got a really big chain circle. Alright, so what we're going to do first is we're going to start round 1 by chaining up 2. So 1, 2. And what we're going to do is we're going to be starting increases right away for the shoulder sections. Well, it's really for the front and back and the shoulder sections all at the same time. So you're going to be, and this is a shoulder section that you're starting on. So you're going to DC1, or double crochet, DC, so it's the way the pattern's written down. Double crochet 1, chain 2, and double crochet 1 all into the same chain. So that very first one just there. So you're going to yarn over for a double crochet. We're going into that chain that we've slip stitched into. You're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's a double crochet. Now, like I said, you're going to chain 2, so 1 and 2, and put another double crochet into that same chain. So we're beginning increases right away, just like that. So that's what that looks like. Now what we're going to do at this point is we're going to chain 40 and skip 40 chains along. So chaining 40. Alright, so here I am with my extra chain of 40 that I've got just here. So I just want to mention quickly as well that you might want to lay this down on a flat surface just so that you're not getting it twisted when you're doing these chains, because if you do that you could sort of end up switching the direction and going in the wrong direction. So just make sure it's sort of laying down and you know which direction you're going in. So what we're going to do now that we've chained that length of 40, let's just focus better. So now that we've chained that length of 40, now what we're going to do on the original chain, we're going to skip 40 chains. So you're going to count 40 chains across just here. So 1, 2, 3. So counting 40 chains across. Alright, so here I am and I've counted 40 chains across and I've got my finger just there on the 40th chain, just like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my finger across to the next chain, so the 41st one, and we're going to be putting a double crochet straight from that chain of 40 that we did just there. We're going to be putting a double crochet into the 40, well, it's actually going to be the 42nd chain along. So you've skipped 40. You put a double crochet, a chain 2, and a double crochet into the first chain. You're chaining 40 and skipping 40, and you're putting, so that makes 41. Then you're putting a double crochet into the 42nd chain along. So that one that I just had my finger on. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now this just here is another increase. So what you're going to do is you're going to chain 2 right after that double crochet and put another double crochet into that 42nd stitch just there. So another double crochet into that stitch. So there you've got your second increase. That's what that's going to start to look like. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put a double crochet into the next 5 chains long. So we'll do that together. We've got this one just here, so that's 1, and next one, that's going to be 2. Then the next one, that's going to be 3. And the next one, which is going to be 4. So, 4, so what have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then another one, 5. And now what we're going to do at this point, we're actually at the front of the dress. So what we're going to do now is we're going to chain 32 and skip 32 of these original foundation chains. So we'll go away and do that. Alright, so here I am, and I've done my chain of 32, and I've counted 32 chains across just here like this. So what I'm going to do is move my finger along to the next chain along. I'm going to yarn over, and I'm going to double crochet into that chain. So we've chained 32, skipped 32, double crochet into this chain, which is the 80th chain along on this set of foundation chains, just here. So just like that, into the 80th, and that's the first of the 5 that you're going to do. So 5 chains along, double crochet into 5. So this is 1, then the next, to focus better, the next one will be 2, 3, and 1 into the next one will be 3, next one is 4, and the next one is 5. So there you've got 5 double crochets across just there like that. And now to reflect what you've done on that side, you're going to put a double crochet, a chain of 2, and another double crochet into the next chain. So we'll do that together. So double crochet, chain 2, and a double crochet all into that same chain. All right, there we go. So now what we're going to do, just like we did on the other side, is we're going to chain 40 and skip 40 chains along. All right, so here I am, and I've chained 40 and I've skipped 40 chains. So now moving my finger along to the next chain along, I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into that chain, double crochet into that chain, chain 2, and put another double crochet into that same chain. Okay, so that chain that we just put a double crochet, a chain 2, and a double crochet into was the 126th chain of the original foundation chain. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put 1 double crochet into the next chain along. We're going to chain 40 and skip 40 chains. Alright, so I've chained 40, so there's my 40 chains, and I'm skipping the 40 chains to the end. And what we're going to do is, there's going to be that one remaining chain right at the end just there, before that chain of 2. So just there, into that last chain, you're going to put 1 double crochet. So just into there, 1 double crochet, and that is the back section of the top of the dress. So just there like that. And there's always going to be, for the top anyway, there's always going to be 40 chains. And you'll see how it progresses. So what we're going to do now is we're going to slip stitch. See, there's the chain of 2. Into the stitch at the top of that, you're going to slip stitch to close the round. So there we go. Now we're going to move on to round 2, and you're going to start to see how the pattern will progress from here until you need to try it on and see when you need to be joining the increased sections beneath your arms. I'm going to run you through all of that. I will meet back up with you at some point. I'll try it on. I'll show you what you need to be doing for that particular thing. But what we're going to do now is we're going to chain up 2, so 1 and 2, and we're going to turn the work. Now, the reason I'm turning the work is because it's going to stop the seam from drifting to the side, so we don't really want that to happen. And what you're going to do is you're going to put a double crochet into the first stitch along, and it's not going to be into that stitch right there beneath that chain of 2. So you see right there, there's a stitch, not into that one just there, but into the next one along. So it's going to be into that. So that first stitch just there, you're going to put a double crochet. You're going to chain 40, and obviously you're skipping these 40 chains, and I'll meet you once you've chained your 40. Alright, so here I am with those 40 chains. So what you're going to do is now you're going to move across to the other side, just here. You're going to pick up the other side just like this, and you're going to double crochet straight into the next stitch along on the other side of that chain just beneath there. So you're going to yarn over, you're going to go into that first stitch right there just before that increase section. So you're going to double crochet into that, just like so. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two. Now you've got another stitch just here right before the increase section. So you've got two stitches just here, and you'll find that when you get to the end of this round, you'll be putting in another stitch just there at the end. So that's going to be your last stitch. So you'll have those two stitches just there on this side of the back to reflect the two stitches just here. I hope that makes sense. So now what you're going to do is you're going to do the next increase, which is yarn over. You're going to put your double crochet, chain two, and double crochet into this chain space of two just here from the previous round. So you go in like this, yarn over, pull through two, chain two, and another double crochet into that increase section, just like this. Alrighty, so here we are now. Alright, yes, now, so we've moved on to a shoulder section, or a sleeve section. So what we do now is we're increasing by two stitches each round for the sleeves, or for the shoulders. So because we had 40 chains for the last round, what we're going to be doing now, straight from the increase that you just did, that one just there, you're going to chain 42. So chaining 42. Alright, so here I am with my 42 chains. Now, picking up the other side, so you've gone from here, you've chained your 42. Now you've reached, well, you're going to cross over to the other side, where you're going to put a double crochet straight into that increase section on the other side. And just like this. Double crochet, and then you're going to chain two, and put another double crochet into that increase section. And that's how you're increasing for the shoulders. Each time you will go into the increase section with your increase, chain the next lot up of two. So for the next round, this shoulder and the other shoulder will be 44 chains. So now what you're going to do, you're moving on to the front. So what you're going to do is you're going to put a stitch into each of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches along. So you've got your first one just there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alright, so now here we are at the chain of 32 at the front. Now I'm going to try and explain this properly without getting tongue-tied and muddled like I am prone to doing. But what we're doing is we're not including the original foundation chain. So we're not going to include this one in the pattern that we're going to be doing now. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing 2 lots of each number of chains. So we've done 1 lot of the 32 just here. So we're going to be doing another lot of 32, and once we've chained our 32, we're going to be putting our next stitch into the stitch after that. So we'll go away, we'll chain 32, and I'll show you what I mean. Alright, so I've chained my lot of 32. We're going to skip right over that 32 from the previous round. We're going to double crochet straight into the next stitch along. So I've skipped that. Double crocheting straight into the next stitch along, which is the first of the 6 stitches on this side of the front. So there's 1, just like that. You've got 2, and then you've got 4 more to go just here. So we've done 2 lots of 32 at the front just here. On the next round, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'll show you I'll show you what that is when we get to it. So we'll just put in our remaining 6 at the front. Alright, so there's those 6. Now we're going to put in our double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet into this increase section on the other shoulder. So chain 2, double crochet. What you're going to do after that is you're going to chain your 42. You're going to skip over that chain of 42 just there. Yes, okay, sorry, I got confused because we're nearly at the end. So yes, you're going to skip over that chain of 40 from the previous rounds. So chaining 42, skipping over the 40. Alright, so here I am with that chain of 40 now. Moving to the other side of that shoulder section, we're going to just double crochet straight into that last increase section just there. Double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet to finish that last increase section of round 2. So now you'll find you've got a final, yep, getting tongue-tied already. All right, so we've got a final stitch just there at the end of the round. You're going to put a double crochet into that. And then you're going to be looking for that chain of 2. Well, there's that chain of 2. So for the preceding rounds, including the round we've just done, actually, the chain of 2 at the beginning is going to look different from that very first one you did because it's going to be a little bit twisted. So it's going to look a bit more like that. Hang on. Let's focus better. So it's going to look a little bit like that, and you'll find that your stitch that you've got to slip stitch into is just there, just like that. So you're going to slip stitch to close the round. So that's round 2. Now for round 3, we're going to once again chain up 2 and turn. You're going to put a double crochet into the first 2 stitches. So remember, skipping that stitch right there beneath the chain of 2, you're going to work into the next 2 stitches along. All right, and here we are at the first increase section of round 3. So you're going to double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet into that increase section, just like this. Now, like I said, each shoulder for each round, well, the shoulders for each round are going up by 2 lots. So we've now moved on to a chain. Well, this chain is going to be a chain of 44. All right, so here I am with that chain of 44. Now, moving to the other side of the shoulder just here. So picking this up just here, we're going to put our double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet right into that next increase section to form the next increase section up. So there we go, and we've increased that shoulder by 2. So that's what that is starting to look. Hang on, let's focus a bit better. There we go. So that's what that's starting to look like. Now what you're going to do is you're going to move on to the next, I think there's 7 stitches at the front now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. All right, so I'll meet you once you've done the 7th stitch, because at the front here, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. All right, now here I am, and I've put in my 7th stitch. Now what we're going to do at this point, we're going to begin our first lot of decreasing the width of the gap at the front. So it's going to be sort of tapering into a V with these chains. You'll see what I mean. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a double crochet into the next chain, or the first chain along on this chain of 32. So we're going to do that. We're going to be yarn over. You're going to find that first chain right there. You're going to go into it just like this, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. So there's a double crochet like that into that first chain. And now what you're going to do is you're going to chain a length of 30. All right, so here I am, and I've chained a length of 30. And what we're doing is we're skipping across, well, we're skipping 30 chains from the previous chain beneath. Just there like that. You're going to move to the other side, but what you're going to do is you're not putting your first stitch into that first stitch along just there. You're putting it into the last chain along, into that chain of 32 from the previous round. So there's your first stitch just there. You're going to move back just there. You're going to turn to the top just like that. You're going to go into that last chain just there. So that 32nd chain, double crochet, just like that. And now you're going to move on to the next 7 stitches along on the front just here. So 7 stitches. All right, and I've done those 7 stitches. Now we're just, for the second shoulder of this round, double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet into that increased section of 2. You're going to chain that length of, I think it's 44 for this, yep. 40, 42, yep, 44 chains. Okay, now I've chained my length of 44, so what I'm going to do is, making sure not to get twisted, I'm going to pick up the other side just here. So where are we? There we are. Picking up the other side of this shoulder, I'm going to, straight from that chain of 44, did I say 44? Anyway, 44, I'm going to double crochet straight from that chain, chain 2, and double crochet into the next increase section of this shoulder. Now what we're going to do is we're going to, see, I'm getting a little bit twisted, that's not good. Alright, so just working a double crochet into the next, what have we got, 1, 2, 3 stitches, so 1, 2, and 3. You're going to chain 42, chain 42 and put a double crochet into that final stitch just there. So I'll meet up with you at that point. Alright, so I've chained my 42 and now I'm putting my final stitch just there into that last stitch of the round. Double crochet straight from that chain of 42. So that's the 42 for the back. We're always, for the top, like I said, going to be chaining 42 for the back. So now you're going to look for that chain of 2 at the beginning just there. You're going to focus the camera a little bit better and you're going to slip stitch into that stitch just there at the top of that chain of 2 to close the round. Alright, there we go. So we've done round 3. Now, moving on to round 4, you're going to chain up 2, you're going to turn, you're going to put, how many have we got? We've got, well, this is always going to be that one stitch just there when you're starting on the back, or when you're starting with the chain of the back for the round. You're going to chain your 42, you're going to double crochet into the next 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches along. You're going to do your increase. Okay, I'm going to meet back up once you've done this shoulder. We're going to move on to the front together. So I'll meet back up with you at the front. I think you know what to do now for the back and for the shoulders. So for the shoulders, there are always going to be that chain of 42. You're increasing by 2 chains for each shoulder for each round. But for the front, I'm going to meet back up with you for the front of this round. And then you should know what the pattern progression is going to be after that. So I'll see you soon for that. Alright, now here I am at the front. So what we're doing with this is we've already done 2 chains of 32. So like I said, not including that foundation chain just there at the bottom. We've done 2 chains of 32 just here. We've done 1 chain of 30. We're going to do another chain of 30. But then for the next round, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be putting a double crochet into the first and the last chain of the front. So you'll be decreasing it to 28. So we'll do this together. So you're going to, at this point, you've put your last stitch in just there on that side. You're going to chain 30. So there you are, and you've chained 30. Now you're going to skip to the other side of the front just here. I'm trying not to get muddled. You're going to double crochet into that first stitch along just there. But like I said, for the next round, when you get to the front, I'm just going to do this so that I can turn it around and show you what you're going to need to be doing for the next round. So put in a few stitches just there. Okay, so hypothetically, you've made it to the end of this round, you've chained up 2, you've turned back in the other direction, you've done all your processes to get to the front again. So you're at the front. Now for the next round, you've done 2 lots of 32, you've got your 2 lots of 30 chains just here, and for the next round, you're going to be doing the first of the next 2 lots, so this one's going to be 28 because you're decreasing by 2 lots every second round. So you're going to put your first stitch in, you're going to put a double crochet into the first chain along just there, you're going to chain 28, you're going to put a double crochet into the last of those 30 chains just there. So your first is going to be into that last chain just there, then you're just going to move on as normal to the next. And then obviously the round after that, you're just going to be doing another chain of 28. So that's how it's progressing. I hope I've explained that well enough. Maybe just go back, watch again, sort of try to get familiar with it. Once I've done it, I'll show you what it looks like, so you'll be able to see. But yeah, that's it. That's what we're doing. So what we're doing is we are also increasing the shoulder chains and the increase sections to a point where we can fit the front and the back increase sections comfortably beneath our arms. And like I said, I'm going to meet back up with you to show you what that looks like. So yeah, we're just going to meet back up at that point. And that's it. Alright, we'll go away, we'll do that, and I'll see you again soon for when we try it on. Alright, so I'm not meeting with you to try it on and show you how it works, just because I think it'll make the video a bit too long and I'm trying to stop doing that. And also, I think you'll know what to do. All you do is slip the top on over your head and you bring the increased sections, front and back, you draw them together beneath your arms. And when you're able to do that easily and comfortably, that is when it's time to join the body or join the increased sections and just continue work on the body, which is what we're going to do now. We're going to join the increased sections, continue work on the body, doing the torso and the skirt. And then hopefully if I've got enough yarn left, we're going to do the arms as well. So we'll just see how that goes. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain up 2 straight from the last round, 1 and 2. We're going to turn the work and we're starting around as we normally would, but when we get to the first increase section, which is right here, we're going to draw it together with the increase section on the other side. So on the other side of this shoulder, we're going to fold that in half. So fold the shoulder towards yourself like so, and just bring these increase sections together. I'm going to meet you at this increase section, we'll do it together, but that's what we're doing. So putting in our double crochets and I'll meet you at that increase section. Alright, here I am at that increase section. So like I said, you're going to sort of drop the yarn to the back like so. You're going to take this increase section and fold the sleeve area or the shoulder section towards you like so with the back increase section. Alright, now here I am at the increase section. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop the yarn to the back like so. You take this increase section and then pick up the one at the front. So this is the increase section at the back, this is the one at the front. We're going to fold the shoulder section towards us like this. Fold them in half so that you can see through both increase sections at the same time. And what you're going to do is you're going to pick up that yarn again at the back. You're going to yarn over, go into both increase sections at the same time. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So you're just double crocheting those increase sections together, just like that. And that's how we join. We join the shoulder. So now what you're going to do is you're just bypassing that sleeve part altogether at the moment. You're going to yarn over. You're going to move straight onto the first stitch at the front just here. So just, you know, hypothetically, if you'd done the shoulder section, like another chain, an increase section, just moving straight into the first stitch along here at the front. And then when you get to the front, you're going to complete the pattern as you're doing to close that gap of the chains just there. Where am I on to? I'm not sure. So yeah, we're doing that. I'll meet you at the other increase section. We'll do it together. Alright, so here I am at the next increase along. So we're going to once again push that working end of the yarn to the back, take hold of the increase section, find the corresponding increase section at the back. You're going to fold that shoulder towards you. Fold it towards you like so. Fold the increase sections together so that you can see through both of them. You're going to pick up that yarn at the back again. Where is it? Where are we? There we go. So you're picking up that working end, yarn over, go through both of those increase sections at the same time, like so. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So there we go. And then you're just moving on to the remaining stitches of the back. So that's this part just here. And you've got your chain of 40 at the end to finish up, plus your 1 double crochet right at the end. Yes, so that's it. That's what we're doing. I will meet back up with you after we've closed up this round. We'll talk about how we're going to proceed from here. Alright, see you soon. Alright, so here I am and I've closed up the round. Now, there's several things that we need to talk about at this point. And so what we're going to be doing is we're growing the length of the torso, and when we get to a certain point, we are going to have to stop doing the chains at the back and turn it into a skirt. So what I want to do is, because once we start having to put in the skirt, I think you could sort of crochet to a point at the top, just at the top of your hip bone. So if you feel around on your side where that is, that's where you're going to sort of crochet to for the, just doing this particular stitch count that you've got now. And for me, that's 134. So I'm going to be doing that stitch count to around the top of my hip bone. And at that point, I'm going to turn the chain at the back, the chain of 40, just into double crochets. So for the round after that, we'll just put double crochets across that chain. When we get to that point, we'll do it together. What we're also doing is we're continuing to close that gap at the front. And just turn that gap of chains into double crochets, but you're doing it gradually. Every second round you're reducing it by 2 chains, by 2 double crochets. So that's what we're doing. Also, what I want to do is I sort of want to create diamonds on the sides, but at this point I'm not quite sure where I'm going to be putting them. So it's good that we've got these chains at the front and the back, because then we know exactly where the middle is on the front and the back, so that you can sort of count across. Because for me, half of 134 is 67. So I'm going to have to find the middle of 67 on each side when I want to start putting in the diamonds. But like I said, I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to be doing that yet, because I know I've got to crochet down a little bit further, obviously once I get past the bust area, and I sort of want to do it in the middle, in just my sides, middle of my sides. So if you want to know where that is, I will be meeting back up with you to show you, so just stick around till the bit right after this, and I'll meet back up with you and I'll show you where I'm starting those diamonds, and we'll talk about how big they're probably going to be. Because, yeah, I don't think they'll be able to be too big. Anyway, I'll meet back up with you and we'll talk about it. So, yeah, like I said, just continue closing the gap at the front and growing the length of the torso. We'll meet back up in a moment. We'll go from there. Alrighty, so I just wanted to cut in quickly and show you how I'm going with the journal. As you can see, I've been able to use this page for sticking in the label, so I don't forget what that is. All the tiny relevant details and stuff. And yes, this is also really good for practicing the fashion design drawings, because that's something I really want to start doing, is, you know, making them look better and getting into that more. I think they call it a crocus or a croquis or something like that. Anyway, so there's that. Also, something else I've noticed is that this actually, the borders and things double as like a coloring page, which is, I find, quite awesome. So yeah, just wanted to show you that. Alright, back to the tutorial. Alright, so I've crocheted to a point just beneath the bust area to where I'm happy, and now we're going to add the diamonds on the side. So for me, that has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds off from where we joined at those increase sections. So now I'm going to add those diamonds. So what I did was I marked out the stitch in the middle of each side. So to do that, what I actually did was I halved the chain in the middle at the front. So there's 14 chains just there. I counted, well, obviously 7 along on one side, and then the next stitch would be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and I counted to 33. Then the next stitch along would be the middle stitch on the side, because I have 134 stitches, so dividing that up into 2 is 67, so that's obviously an uneven one, so that would be the middle stitch, basically, for 67 on each side. So that's how I did that. I hope that makes sense. So that's what I've done. Now, what we're going to do is create those diamonds on the side. And to do that, what I'm going to do is we're going to just start another round as normal. Where am I? Trying not to get twisted. So we're going to start around as normal, chain up 2 and turn. Then we're going to put in a double crochet until you get to the stitch that's marked out. So don't put a stitch into that. We're going to meet back up at that point and we're going to talk about what we're going to do. Alright, so here I am at that stitch marker. So now all I'm going to do at this point is just chain 1, and obviously we're skipping that stitch where the stitch marker is, and we're just going to put a double crochet into the next stitch along, so just there. So that's what we're doing. And then you're going to put a double crochet in. Obviously we're continuing to do the reducing of that gap. So what are we up to? 14. So yeah, I've done 2 lots of 14 chains. So now I'm going to be reducing that chain to 12. So anyway, I'll meet back up with you once we get to the next stitch marker and we'll do it together. Alright, and here I am at the next stitch marker. So once again, we're going to chain 1, skip that stitch with the stitch marker, and just double crochet into the next stitch along. So that's that. Now we're going to finish up the round. And once we've done that, what you're going to do is you're going to start another round. And then when you get, so let's just say we've started another round, we've come back around to this first one just here. So what you'll do is you will crochet up to this stitch, and then you'll be skipping the 2 stitches on either side of this chain of 1. So you're skipping 3 stitches. You're going to chain 3, skip these 3 stitches, double crochet into the next stitch along. Keep going, do the same on the other side with the other one. So that's how it's going to be. And then when you do the next round, you're going to be skipping 5 stitches, chaining 5, skip over those 5 stitches and chains, and go into the next one. So that's how you're widening it. I'm not quite sure how wide I'm going to be having this at this point. We'll find out. I'll meet back up with you and let you know, obviously, and we'll talk about how we're going to start reducing that again to close the diamond. So that's it. That's what we're doing. We're creating little diamonds. Let's go away. Let's widen the width of our diamonds. Yeah, so I'd cancel. Anyway, I'll see you soon. Alright, so I've increased the width of the diamonds to a point where I'm now feeling like I should sort of close that gap again. But only because the length that I've got here is going to be roughly the same length going down more. So I don't want it to fall too far down on the torso of the dress. So I don't want that to be too low. So I'm going to start closing it now. In hindsight, I could have started the diamond closer to the top of that, where that join was, where we joined the increase sections. I could have done this further up, and then I would have had more sort of room to increase the width. But that's okay, doesn't matter. It's going to be fine. It's going to be pretty interesting, honestly. It's looking that way. So anyway, what we're going to do is, at this point, we're going to chain up 2, start another round as normal. And when you get to your first diamond, obviously we're sort of meeting back up at this point, and you're closing the gap of your diamond as well. So this is only if you're doing that. So I'll see you at your diamond, and we'll start closing the gap together. Alright, so here I am at the gap of my first diamond. So what I'm going to do, just to start closing that gap again, is we're just going to go into the first chain along. You're going to double crochet into that first chain along just there. And for me, I increased by 17 chains. So from 1 to 17. So now that I'm decreasing back to 15 chains, I'm going to chain 15. Alright, so here I am with my chain of 15. So now I'm going to pick up the other side of the gap, and I'm going to double crochet into the last of those 17 chains. So that one just there, the last one. I'm going to go in, pull up a loop, double crochet. Now just moving into the other stitches of these stitches. Yeah, I'm getting tongue-tied. I don't know why. Alright, so that's it. That's how we're closing the gap. So when you get to the other one, you'll do the same on the other side. You'll finish up the round, start a new round, and just continue to decrease the chains just like that for each round, just like we're doing with everything else except for the back, of course, at this point. I'm going to meet back up with you when it comes time, because I've almost closed the gap at the front. I think I've got only a few more rounds to go before that's closed. So at some point when I reach my hips, or the top of my hips, the top of my hip bone, I'm going to be putting in double crochets across the back chain. So I'm going to meet back up with you at that point. We're going to do that together. And then we're going to talk about how we're going to continue work on the skirt. Alright, see you soon. Alright, now I've crocheted to a point where I've roughly reached the top of my hip bone. So what we're going to do now is put double crochets into the chain along the back. So chaining up 2 and turning. Also, the last row that I did closed the gap at the front, so that's all closed up now, which is good. So all we're going to do is putting that first double crochet just in there, and I'm on the chain at the back, so that chain of 40 we're just going to go in, picking up that first chain there, focusing the camera better, hopefully. Yep. We're just going to put a double crochet into that first one, and every single chain all the way along. So there's 1, moving on to the next one, 2, and moving on to the next one, 3. So I'm going to put in all 40 of those chains. I'm still closing up the gaps on the sides for those diamond gaps, but I'll just finish up the round as normal. And then, yeah, once we get to the end of this round, I'm not sure if I'm going to start putting increases in just yet for the skirt. I think I'm going to do another few rounds before I reach that point. So maybe another 3 or 4 rounds. I'll let you know. But yeah, we will meet back up because, okay, we'll have to talk about how we're going to do the skirt. Because for me, personally, I like a straight increase for the skirt. So a nice sort of streamlined straight one. I don't want it to be ruffly. So what I do is I increase into every 20th stitch every 5th round. So we'll get to it when we get to it. But yeah, that's what I do. You don't have to do that. I mean, you can increase more and just make it really nice and sort of ruffly, sort of a flowy, wavy skirt. But yeah, for me, I want this to be quite a straight skirt. And I actually want it to be quite long, so hopefully I've got enough yarn for that. If not, hopefully there will be some left at the place where I got it from. Yeah. So that's it. All right, let's go away. Let's do another few rounds. We'll meet back up. Trying this on, I'm actually really happy with the way it's turning out. The diamonds on the side could be wider, but I'm not quite sure how. I mean, yeah, I could have started further towards that increase join, but you know, I didn't. It's still going to look really nice. Just those subtle little diamonds at the side. I'm going to stop talking. Let's just go away. We'll come back. See you soon. Alright, so here I am, and I've crocheted the body to a length that I'm happy with, and now I'm ready to put in the skirt. So how we're going to do that is we're going to chain up 2, so 1, 2, and we're going to turn the work, and we're going to start another round as normal. So I don't have any more gaps to fill, everything's just a double crochet now. But what we're going to do is, well, what I'm going to do, because like I said, I like a nice gradual increase so that it goes very sort of streamlined and straight down. So for that, what I do is I put in 20 double crochets across. So we'll put in 20 double crochets across. And here I am about to put in my 20th double crochet along. And so for this 20th stitch, we're going to be putting 2 double crochets into that stitch. So that's how we're increasing. I'm doing every 20th stitch till the end of the round. So we'll start again. We do 1. We start neatly. We start 1, 2, and so on. And when you get to the 20th, 2 double crochets into the same stitch. Yeah, so we're doing that. Then once we finish this round, what we're going to do is we're going to complete 4 rounds of just, this is if you're doing it just sort of a gradual increase like me. I'll do 4 rounds of just plain double crochet, no increase. But on the 5th round, I'm going to do 2 double crochets into every 20th again. And that gives me a nice sort of gradual increase, like I said. So that's what I'm doing, and I will continue doing that till I'm happy with the width. I'm not sure how much of this yarn they have left at the place that I got it from, so while I want this to be a very long skirt, I'm not sure if it's going to be. We'll see what happens. I really hope it will be. Yes. So that's it. That's what you got to do. Every 5th round, and 2 into every 20th. And that's it. All right, well, I want it, okay, well, I mean, I think you probably saw, if you saw what I was doing in the journal, I've since done more. So what I was going to do was, hopefully this will focus, yeah, it focuses, kind of. So you can see I kind of coloured the sleeves blue, not that that really shows you much, but it shows, anyway. I wanted to add sleeves. So I wanted to sort of crochet in around the final chain of the shoulder section and just crochet in a sleeve on either side, but I'm not sure, once again, if they're gonna have enough yarn. We'll see what happens. Yes, it was kind of gonna be this sort of transitioning from spring into summer idea, where at the end of spring I would take off the sleeves and it would just be a nice summer dress. But now I think it may only be a nice summer dress, which is fine. That's fine. You know? Alright, well that's it. I don't think there's much more I need to say. I think we can just go away. We can finish that up. If in fact I have added the sleeves, you will know about it because you'll have seen from the pictures of the thumbnail. If that has in fact happened, then we will meet up again very soon. If not, I'll say it now. If not, we'll go away, we'll finish our dresses, we'll meet back up, we'll try on our dresses, we'll see how they look. Yes. And I think they're gonna look good. I mean, this is already a very pretty design. Sorry, it's late. I can't talk properly. Can't talk properly at any time of the day, but, you know, now that it's... Anyway, okay, alright. We're done. I'll see you soon. Alrighty, here is the finished dress. Yes. Alright, so yes, I really love this design. I do. I'm glad that I took it further than the top and decided to turn it into a dress. However, with the diamonds, I would like to make them a bit bigger. So I'm thinking next time when I do this design, I will probably start those diamonds closer to the increased section joins. So a couple of rounds down from that, instead of the 8, that's when I'd start adding the diamonds, and then I could make them bigger, you know? Also, as I said, I would like to add sleeves, but unfortunately the place that I got this yarn from ran out of both of these colors, so couldn't do that this time, which is disappointing, but it's okay, I'll do it next time. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this design. I hope you've made yourself a lovely dress. I'd love to know what you think. Please let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.